18. We have two teams that finish up the day. It is TSL 666 Legend against Bilibili Gaming, the Hangzhou Spark Academy team here in Overwatch Contenders China. Lafon, two teams going at it already on Nepal. Any expectations looking at these rosters?
I think we're going to actually see a lot of standard here. A lot of 3-3. We might see the Somber come out as we do right now. TSL bring it with Raphael. So it should be interesting. It should be a good matchup here, Rapture.
And there's a quick history lesson between these two teams. TSL, this team's been together as a core pretty long so far. The core of the team, Runchang, who is now LRC, Umbra and Sober have been before the team since December of 2018. They added DPS in November of last year, and they just added Raphael and another player as well, Shush, just 3 days ago. Meanwhile, this Bilibili Gaming team from players all over the place. Shy, former LGD member, World Cup member back since Season 2. Winter, intermittent player, formerly of Moss 7 Club. Yakumo and Zijin, both players since they were on Team CC since 2017, now on this team. And then, of course, you have Older and Coldest, two players that were standout players in the previous season. Coldest, probably the most well-known Chinese Zenyatta currently in Overwatch right now.
It's going to be interesting to see. That last fight was actually so messy. I mean, it ended up with the Bilibili Gaming taking it all in. This next fight actually is going to be, now we're going to start to see the setup for ult economy, which is what, you know, that 3-3 is so strong at reading the setups and so forth, but that's going to be a staggered kill, a late kill. They're going to have to find time to reset. I want to talk a little bit about DPS. We saw DPS in Contenders North America actually last season. He played on Sky Foxes. Which was an interesting look. Raphael with that EMP going to try and set up. They want to bring a combo in here, I think. They want to try and scout out and then clean up as they engage.
Oh, and just as BLG looking to drop down, there's the EMP, comes out from Raphael. TSL looking to capitalize. They have just throwing down that Transcendence. Earthshatter also crushing BLG. It doesn't look like they really got too much off of it there. Coldest and Shy both capitalizing off that Graviton thrown down by Shy. And look at that. Over does go over, of course. And already 72% here for BLG, looking very strong against TSL.
That fight was so well read by Coldest. Last season, one of the concerns we had is that he had a typical, sometimes a thirst to be a little too aggressive in terms of chasing kills. Here, he reads the situation perfectly. His team falls in, the EMP comes through from Raphael, and then he comes in with the Transcendence, keeps his team alive, and they win the fight out. 90% in counting here now, Rapture in this last fight.
Oh, great play by BLG, falling back, knowing the grab was going to come, and only Over gets caught in it and doesn't die. Great play, great positioning by BLG. Heads up awareness. Now they're falling back, knowing that they're going to get hit in the back line. They are. EMP goes down, or not just go down, but a hack went down, but Raphael got killed nonetheless. Overtime ticking away, 99% as BLG has somewhat control of the point here, but the TSL tanks are poking and prodding just on the perimeter of the point. Now they got their way in. Earthshatter comes down just as DPS was flung into the air just a little bit. Got a little hang time, and there to boot with the Earthshatter. Shy, though, finds DPS. Another Graviton comes down, sucking up TSL. And BLG, despite the fight looking like it was going TSL's way at the beginning, BLG just really give him that tender love and care right there. That first win going towards BLG.
TSL, this is this is one of the most hype matchups of the day, and for very good reason. These are two teams had very strong players from last season. Bilibili Gaming obviously taking from Flag, as you mentioned. I think one of the things, though, is the concerns we had with Flag, or the concerns I had with Flag last season, is that there was moments where, you know, Over would get a little aggressive, where Coldest would do the same. He would go too far in the front line, and I think here, now we're seeing these teams start to coalesce. These players start to really take control of their gameplay, of understanding where they want to execute, and I think here, for Bilibili Gaming, this is a great start for them, this is now the marker. This is a team, those concerns I had last season, still there, but not nearly as much as I was worried was going to happen.
No, absolutely not. I mean, honestly, Billy really pulls from some of the absolute best talent from the region, and other teams certainly took some hits for sure, especially Team CC, especially Flag Gaming. TSL, though, I mean, it's a team that has been relying on a pretty solid core throughout these seasons. Of course, added a few pickups recently, and DPS certainly one of those well-known players, always in chat during his own games, which everyone loves to look forward to here. BLG, though, going to get contested, and Yakumo gets shoved into the pit. A great right click there by Sober. And of course, TLC has to push up on that. Another right click. Over goes down as well. BLG sacrificing for some kind of god down there, and is certainly going to get whatever they're wishing for. A great start here for TSL.
TSL, yeah. The thing is here is that BLG is trying to take this fight. They want to get the stagger kills out. I think they're going to get it. You need to reset here if you're Bilibili. You cannot keep this fight going. And Shy will try and get out with his energy. Will in fact succeed. Sober, another boop kill.
Yeah.
As a certain caster said, boot kills for the boot god. And
that's
it has been.
God, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope the boot god didn't hear me say that, because then I gotta start sacrificing people to make up for my transgressions here. Now Shy at a humongous amount of charge right now, but still halfway to a graviton, so still has to, can't be too aggro. Gonna throw that bubble down and over, gonna try and put some pressure on that right corner. That forces Umbra out of that corner. Shy now putting pressure on DPS, who really flung themselves out of position and gets killed for it. That'll be now 43% and gaining for TSL, but BLG should be able to take it back. Yeah, they did.
They absolutely should. And here's one of the things now we can start to nitpick a little bit on Bilibili, because this is, I think, now to the level where they're at, right? We know that they've got strong fundamentals. We know they've got good, mechanical play. Now we can start to criticize the small things. And I think here for Shy, he needs to work on his right-click spacing just a little bit. A couple of those going way wide, and it's taking him a little bit longer to build Graviton than I think he'd like to have, considering the energy he's been sitting at this entire map. But that being said, they now have that Graviton Surge, and they're building up to that self-destruct, so the combo nearly online for Bilibili. Transcendence not yet available for TSL.
Yeah, Coldest has been ahead in the Transcendence game throughout this set so far. DPS goes down, Coldest still not burning the Transcendence. They're trying to win this fight without burning as many resources as possible. Over's the only one that's going to use a Primal Rage so far, only one that's able to, but the only one that's going to use an ult. Does get killed on the tail end of that Primal Rage. Umbra puts him down. Zijin has a self-destruct. Looks like they're going to try and not going to use it, faking it just a little bit there. Mika with the right click on the shush again. Now they're trying to donate a little bit there into the ground. Now it's going to be Yakumo trying to right click away the opposing team off the point. Shy gets on DPS. Sober pushing everyone into this corner and joining the rest of his team in a huge cluster fight downstairs. Yakumo gets on the board for 2. Shy helping out there as a solid bubble. And now it'll be at least Yakumo continuing to push the rest of TSL forward, and BLG has the lead and continues to move it forward.
If you ever think that China cannot play 3-3, show them BLG, because it is absolutely patently false. They are doing a pretty fantastic job. I think one of the things, maybe the Graviton Surge is not that great, but other than that, the understanding that they don't always need to burn Transcendence. If you're full HP, there's no one that can engage, you don't need to burn those cooldowns. You can use them for a retake, and I think Coldest showing some very, very strong mental play in terms of not committing everything immediately.
And no surprise there, Coldest has always been such a great decision maker as a Zenyatta player for any team that he's on. And now getting closer and closer to Transcendence though. There's a Graviton with a self-destruct over Yakumo and Shy get on the board. Another self-destruct coming out, that time from Umbra, but there's no one home. Over another one on Umbra. Zijin gets on the board, doesn't want to be outdone there. Overtime ticking away, and BLG is in full control right now. A solid, very convincing 2-0 victory on Nepal here over TSL.
200% to 56% is the actual final tally of that entire map. So Bilibili very much in the driver's seat early on in this set, and I think this is kind of what we wanted for them from right out of the gate, right? TSL, not a bad team by any means, but I don't think we would consider them world beaters. I think that's kind of where we slot them in, sort of middle of the pack, relatively stable, but not really that flashy. I think Bilibili expectations coming in were very, very high, and I think this is a good start. You need to prove that you are those the kings of this group, and winning out that aggressively early on is a great start. And the question is now, can they continue that through the later stages of this maps? I think TSL, you have to start. I think one of the things that we kind of talk about when we're talking about this 3-3 composition is how do teams match up with each other, right? We saw the Sombra play. They didn't get a whole lot of value out of it. In fact, I think Raphael got I don't even think his EMPs were that fantastic. Coldest shut him out multiple times. Yep. It's and I mean, when you're with an 8% control on first point, you're obviously not going to get a lot of time there. But I think it's understanding when and where you need to play that certain pick. And I don't necessarily think that DPS and the Wrecking Ball was the right choice either. Sometimes going standard is what you got to do, and I felt like they just didn't have the same engage potential and disengage potential. And on top of that, the Primal Rage that Winston brings, and TSL just kind of let that game get away from them.
Yeah, honestly, I'm pretty happy, at least for Hanzhou's academy team here, Bilibili, that they got to play TSL, because historically TSL has been that gatekeeper team. You're not going to make playoffs if you can't at least beat TSL if they're in your group. So if you're doing well against TSL, that definitely bodes well for you later in the season. And certainly bodes well for you later in this series, which we're going to get to after a short break. Don't go anywhere. Map 2 between Bilibili Gaming and their opponents TSL is coming your way. Stay tuned. Welcome back, everybody. Hope you got your fast passes, because we're going to Blizzard World for map number 2. It is Bilibili Gaming versus TSL, and Bilibili does have the lead 1-0 as they had a pretty convincing win on Nepal here, Lafon. We're moving on to our second map for our third and final set of the day. Lafon, TSL kind of looked like they were struggling to find a game plan at all. So what do you think their game plan should be going into this next map?
I think that they need to re-examine the 3-3 and sort of what their win condition is. Like, I think here now what we see from Bilibili is that they know they can run the Winston Goats. They know they can run the Rien Goats. DPS has had to play Rien and then Wrecking Ball, and he just hasn't looked comfortable in engaging and disengaging. So I think for TSL, they need to reestablish their win condition as they engage here on that first point attack.
And as they do, Runchang now, LRC, is going out on the Ash, and wow, BLG just obliterating TSL almost immediately. TSL going for this right side push, and they put themselves literally into a kill room, and you know what happens in those. So BLG, a convincing fight win in just about 30 seconds.
I think one of the other things too is they don't have that D.Va, so they don't have the damage mitigation due TSL, right? So if you're Bilibili, you'll take that fight 100% of the time because you know you're going to mitigate more damage. You have more effective HP inside that room. You're going to win the fight out. So a good recognition from Bilibili. TSL, a bit of a questionable choice, and they're looking like they're going to do it again.
Yeah, if it doesn't work the first time, LaFon, you do it again the exact same way, and BLG responds in the exact same fashion, almost killing the TSL members in the exact same order that they were killed in initially. And then again, another fight win here, a minute taken off the clock for TSL.
Technically a slightly better fight because Sober got out alive. So under the most technical definitions, it was slightly more effective.
True. Slightly more effective, but now TSL is like, all right, right side didn't go well, left side, we're going all the way left, and then maybe they'll eventually go down the middle. We'll see how that works out. BLG is not going to change where they are. TSL looks like it looks like BLG didn't even expect it at first. Now they see it, and oh my god, they just jumped down, and frame one, TSL gets melted, absolutely destroyed LaFon.
Shush, I don't even think could react in time to the Graviton Surge with the Transcendence. He had it. I just think he got bursted down so quickly that he didn't even notice which way it was. Like, it's like being hit by a truck from behind. Like, you don't know it's there.
A Mack truck, dude. This is like sitting on like a railroad and just waiting for the train to come and hit you. And Coldest, just the Discord orbs have been obliterating, melting the Bree Raphael. They've been melting DPS. Oh. But what an Earth Shatter by Over. TSL didn't even see it coming. I didn't want to say anything because I didn't want to tip him off to it. BLG, another huge sweep, 3 in a row.
Okay, so there's two things to note. If you don't check your corners, there is a Rien there. It's just the law of Overwatch. That's how it goes sometimes. If you're not checking the corners, the Reinhardt will be there. If you are checking, the Reinhardt is usually not. So, you know, maybe, man, LRC is slowly getting up to that Bob, but TSL so heavily behind Ult Economy. Both support ultimates online for Bilibili, and this is going to be a fight where they just hammer at it with the sound barrier. Wow,
and DPS, I think he got the Earth Shatter off, but he was getting booped around so much, it didn't land cleanly, it got delayed, and so it didn't land perfectly on anybody. BLG, though, still going to back up nonetheless. TSL looking for a way in. They have Over on the right side. Transcendence comes out from Coldness. That's going to allow BLG to push right back into TSL's grill. But they get caught in the they catch TSL in the Graviton, but TSL's where they get kills. But what an Earth Shatter by Shy that takes out TSL entirely. And just like that, another wipe for BLG.
This, though, even though that BLG won that fight, I think this is now actually a time to criticize Coldest a little bit. That Transcendence, not really necessary. Over was nearly full HP. I don't think you need to play that aggressively, as we see a quick replay here and from that Earth Shatter. But again, I don't think Coldest needs to transcend that. They actually have to commit more resources because, you know, now you're in a Graviton Surge, you have to counter grab, and they have to use the Earth Shatter because your entire team is dead. So I think, even though Bilibili won that fight, you still have to question how they got about to it.
Now we're deja vu yet again, LaFon. We've seen this before. TSL going to the left side this time. No, BLG lets them do it. Coldest doesn't have a Transcendence to burn this time. He's going to play it safe, play it standard. Earth Shatter goes down. It catches 3 or 4 members of BLG. That has to be enough for TSL. They got to capitalize. Bob getting some work done. They have 7 players helping him out. I think TLC finally gets it done, and just the Earth Shatters that make a difference. If you play Overwatch, you know that Reinhardt versus Reinhardt battle is key to winning or losing fights. And TSL, it's a big example right there. They get the win in overtime.
That is such a good combo, by the way.
Yeah.
Bob down the middle, the shield goes up in the air, DPS gets the shatter down. Also, that's not trippy at all. There's no way we're ever going to trip up and say DPS in the wrong spot. Yeah. Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing. Because we're playing the 3-3, it works out. This is literally DPS's meta.
That's true. No, it really is. Because DPS is well, wait, now. I'm not even going to continue that line of thought. There's a great stun there on to DPS the tank player, and then DPS the tank player gets killed by Over after that stun. Nice combo there. And TSL really kind of just, I think they kind of have to let BLG take it for just a moment and regroup. No point in forcing it. They do need to build up some more ultimate.
The thing is, though, that they used no resources in that retake, right? Neither team did. And I think that's a problem for TSL considering where the payload is. They're going to be able to get recontest here, take the high ground. Our Bilibili, LRC, are you okay?
Yeah, well,
okay.
You know. I really don't know. I think LSC just trying to make this Ashe work and really hasn't yet. Except the Bob, but Bob has really done more work than Ashe has, I think. I think we need to swap around. Can we get Bob to be the main character? And
yeah, please, actually, that would be, yeah.
I would play that character for sure. Now you're going to push up using Shy's Graviton to get TSL in place, and then a bit of a boop there. Now an Umber, Earth Shatter comes down from Over just as Umber used a Graviton. Great reaction there by Over to stop that and lower the value of that Graviton from Umber, but Umber still gets the kill on the Shy. Now TSL looking to take advantage of that. BLG still trying to hold the choke point so TSL can't push through, but they can't hold the fort. And now TSL has broken through, and not only that, they're pushing the card forward. LRC gonna make that start cruising. Now they got some grease on those wheels, and TSL, with 50 seconds left on the clock, has that payload move.
That was, again, another overcommittal from BLG, right? They have the advantage early on. They use the Graviton Surge. They don't have the combo available. They haven't comboed once yet, I don't think. And as a result, they just don't get the kills. TSL reads that. They turn the resources back in their favor and win the fight out. Bob doing another fantastic job on the point.
Oh, great boot there, and DPS looking for that Earth Shatter. So is Over. Who's going to land it down first? DPS does, and then a response from Over. Sometimes you want to get that second one down as the first Earth Shatter is being capitalized on. Great play by Shy and BLG. Once again, a convincing fight win. TSO, though, they are going to stop the bleeding, or at least try to stop the bleeding a little bit. I don't think Umber is going to be able to do so. They do fall back, and they will die. BLG now with a very aggressive defensive hold. And that looks like, I think, they're going to be able to hold on long enough to keep TSL at bay, but that Lucio does touch just in time. Overtime ticking away. Now the Bree barely getting there, Lafon. I think BLG has it.
They do have this, and there's really not much else that can be done. Transcendence is going to be committed, but they won't even touch, and that's going to be round one completed. Bilibili do have the second point hold, just shy of the marker of that capture. And I think now we can talk a little bit about TSL and what they're bringing to the table with this Ashe. I mean, I struggle to say this because it's not a good joke, but the A in GOATS is Ashe, I guess, here for TSL. I'm just not sure what it's bringing to the table, right? Like, we saw Bob work 2 fights in a row, but you can't have Bob every fight unless you're hitting 6-man dynamites consistently, and I don't think LRC is doing that. So Rapture, it's a struggle for me because you want the damage to come through, but with the amount of shielding, without the amount of matrix, then you start to see that she's just really not doing a whole lot, and then you just lose fights.
No, you're absolutely right. I mean, Ashe really is just kind of like a Bob bot right now. And unfortunately, it's not like a situation where like you're Sombra and you can kind of get your EMP pretty quickly and you're mobile so you can, you know, not die while you're building up the EMP. Ashe really kind of has to put herself in danger a little bit by peeking to get those shots. She can't really be a presence on the point. Only Bob can. So yeah, there really are limitations to running this Ashe. There are some good spots, but there are, yeah, I don't really think there are many opportunities where Ashe is the optimal pick for any particular comp, but TSL is still trying to make it work.
I think that the time where you're going to see Ashe and she's going to be strong is actually, weirdly, right now. This comp where you can set up on the higher ground, we can set the projectile. She basically becomes that pseudo Widowmaker, right? Like we saw in Overwatch League Season 1, where you would set up on the high ground defense and you'd have your Heurix. I think this is where Ashe excels because she can put a lot of pressure down range. She has utility finally. On the offense, not so much. I think from Bilibili, though, a concern I'm having is that they're not comboing. They're not getting the self-destruct combo, they're not getting the Graviton Surge, and they're not getting the kills in it as a result. Yes, they've been rolling so far, but it has not been, it can definitely be cleaner for sure.
Absolutely. I mean, they're really kind of just relying on Over to hit fat Earth Shatters, which has worked so far, but now he's moving over to the Winston, and, you know, sometimes you can't rely on just one ultimate to win you a game. We'll see if BLG can kind of expand and evolve beyond that. It looks like they are trying to do that, putting a little more mobility on their tank line, on their main tank position, while TSL, I mean, they're running a Junkrat, they're running an Orisa, they're running this Ashe, they're trying to stay static, they're trying to stay spammy and static. BLG might be able to just rotate right around them, but Raphael gets that first kill.
It's a good pickoff, and I think that's just the power of Discord Orb and Mercy Boost. There's just a ton of damage coming through. Look at that, Raphael already at 50% ult charge on that Rip Tire, barely into the round. a good read by Bilibili though. They see that they're running the Ashe, they're running the Junkrat. You've got so much shield pressure. Reinhardt's just not going to work, so the Winston pick was good. Now the problem is they have to rotate Coldest in somehow, and they've decided to just take the high ground v high ground.
Yeah, this is what TSL did on their offensive attempt, but they got melted. BLG, though, still alive, slowly dying here and there. Over does go down first, and BLG hesitating now to continue to push, but they didn't get melted like TSL did. Now BLG trying to force their way through up against a Junkrat Riptire and get them from behind. They have to realize that, so they're trying to back up. Nice! I think that was a bubble that might have gotten there just in time to block that Junkrat Riptire. Great play, and now BLG still sustaining through this long fight here.
Man, okay, Over gets knocked off the high ground, but oh, DPS is dead. That's just a great focus fire from BLG, and now they control this fight.
Yeah, and now the sand's going to start pouring out here. You don't have that static defense there. That means BLG has more of a queue, more of an invitation to go right in, and indeed they do take it. Shy just about to get Graviton, and is at high charge. So the second that TSL runs in, I mean, they're pretty much screwed. That's going to be popped immediately. We'll see if TSL can weather the storm. I don't think they will. RC's Bob goes down. Now there's the Graviton as Shy gets booped away, gets a ton of hang time and some extra points to boot. TSL getting melted again. There's a self-destruct, though. Can that be enough to turn the tides? No, it only gets Coldest. Over does get the res, though, but BLG is continuing to get kills. Someone should look at LRC, but LRC can't deal enough damage to make a difference. The damage is not fast enough, so BLG can pretty much focus on everybody else, and TSL is forced to give up this point. They're forced to give up this point, and now they're going to switch their composition. They're going over to the Sombra Goats. They're going over to that 3-3. LRC going to play the Ashe still. No, it goes over to the Brig. Okay, so he plays the Brigitte, so now they are just good old-fashioned Sombra 3-3. I guess it's 1-2-3 at this point, but now you have to say, are the setups from the Sombra going to be good? You need to stage Raphael properly. You need him to get in the back line, find some value with the hack, and then you need to just run roughshod. 3 minutes 34, and the payload, it needs to go not very much further. No, I think this is all. It makes a lot more sense composition-wise. Now there's the charge. I think DPS got stunned there by the Bree Yakumo, and he gets taken out. Over now with the Primal Rage, and Yakumo also joining over to get some kills. And that should be more than enough for BLG to hold on. Not only that, they barely burn resources on that fight, and now they have the end of the map in their sights, essentially.
Not only do they barely burn resources, they actually got the resources they did use, they traded out for. So it doesn't even matter that Coldest doesn't have the Transcendence because he used it, because you have, you know, your own continuing this fight. You've got the Self-Destruct, you've got the Graviton Surge, and you've got the Sound Barrier. All the resources are here for you to win this map out right now.
And Raphael goes down at 50%, nowhere near an EMP that they so desperately need. Coldest puts them down. Here comes a self-destruct from above. Kobe doesn't get anything. Not Kobe that time. That's more. Does that more Carmelo maybe? I don't know. I don't know if there's any Knicks fans out there. BLG takes that map 2-0. TSL kind of looking almost not on the map really towards the end of that fight. BLG looking very, very solid. TSL tried to make changes, but it was too little, too late.
I think the story of this match so far has just been decision-making, right? Not even execution. I think just decision-making is very basis. You have an opportunity. I think nowhere is that more evident than on that first point on that high ground, right? Bilibili, they recognize that they have just a stronger comp, so they just wait. And then, you know, TSL decides that's a great idea. We're just going to run into you. And they just lose because you're not running a good comp. And then on this, when they're defending, they take so long to actually pressure any of the people left stuck behind after they got those first 2 kills that Bilibili was able to reset as 6, retake the fight, and just take the point. So I think for TSL, you need to be a lot more efficient, a lot more coordinated, and just faster in decision making. Like sometimes a bad decision is okay as long as the entire team is doing it and doing it quickly. But Bilibili punishing those mistakes when they see them, and that leads to a 2-0 lead at the half.
Yeah, TSL, you know, really still struggling to find a game plan. They relied, I don't know if that's the right word for it, on having an Ashe for so long, the Junkrat, the Orisa for so long, that it seemed like Bilibili kind of just saw through that and really had no trouble eventually working through it. They kind of had some hiccups here and there. Coldest, a little shaky here and there, but at the end of the day, he kind of held tight. He's cold, so he's gonna be very solid. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, he's gonna work out. He's not getting warmed up. He's getting warmed up, but you know, he's not gonna melt out here. Any kind of think maybe TSL should. Is there anything else TSL could possibly think of going to this next map that you would like to see from them?
Stop recreating the wheel. 3-3 is still very, very strong for very good reason. We know how good China is at running you know, sort of the extreme compositions, but if you're going to run the 3-3, run it properly, because you're just substituting an Ashe in without actually understanding your win conditions doesn't do anything for you. You know, is your win condition Ashe getting headshots? Well, then you're not doing a very good job, because LRC is just not hitting those shots. He can't. There's just shields, there's Matrix, there's just too much HP, and I think now if you're TSL, decision making comes to the forefront. You need to be playing what is strong, what you think is strong, and understand what your win conditions are. TSL so far hasn't done that, and they're going to need to take the last 2 maps away.
Absolutely, and they don't have a lot of time to do that. We have one more half to go on our last set of the day. Don't go anywhere. After this break, more of Bilibili Gaming versus TSL coming your way. What's up, Overwatchers? Welcome back to Overwatch Contenders China Season 1 2019, Day 1, Week 1, Set 3. It is time for map number 3. It's going to get a little chilly out here because we're going to Volskaya Industries. We got Bilibili Gaming. We got TSL. Bilibili is up 2-0, and TSL having a rough start out here. They got a lot to change up here, Lafon. What do you think we're going to see on Volskaya?
I think from Bilibili, we're going to see standard. I think it's probably most likely what's going to be the case. This team, I think, want to play it a little bit safe for this first match, kind of get their footing in here in this first matchup and figure out where they want to go through the rest of the season. Again, this is a team we have heavily favored to take the top place in Contenders China Season 1 2019. So yeah, we do see the standard play. And then LRC, again, allergic to Brigitte, decides to play McCree here.
We gotta get the McCree out here, man. This is China. They love McCree at times, and I like seeing McCree. We saw Kami do some work on McCree last set, so definitely loved seeing more McCree. LRC, formerly Runchang, on that character. And yeah, otherwise BLG going to be going on offense with a pretty standard composition out here, for sure. We've seen it tons of times before. Sober does break through and just literally surpasses Over's shield to get that right click, but it is a 5v3 situation here for BLG as they have separated TSL and then looking to kill them one by one. And they will do that. There's a support line of TSL remaining, and they will be able to get out of dodge. But of course, that means they can't stop BLG from taking point A.
This is a pretty disastrous place for TSL to be in, because they're going to have nothing to deal with this Graviton Surge that Shy has built up. And now this is a very real case where BLG can just snowball their way through point A and point B into the double capture. So TSL, yeah, LRC switches off the McCree. They're going to that Somber Goats. I wish they'd opened up with this. And now they're well behind the Ultimate Economy. They only are going to have the Earth Shatter. There's the Graviton.
Yep, Graviton sucking up TSL, and that's going to be TSL getting wiped off the face of the earth a little bit. 3 members going down immediately. DPS caught in a corner with just a Lucio to help him out. Shush has to use the Transcendence, but uses it so late that no one else is alive for it to even matter. So that's just a waste of Transcendence from Shush. It was too little too late. BLG might be able to capture point B with over 6 minutes on the clock. Now, OWC will get onto the summer just in time, but Lafon, it looks like it's going to be here for capture here for BLG.
Yeah, now it's just, can you get that 6-minute capture point? And I don't think they will.
Come on, yes!
Oh, they do! Exactly 6 minutes. Exactly
wow.
6 minutes.
Exactly 6 minutes on the dot here for BLG. I was just a little amped to see that. My apologies, but that was cool. Very exceedingly, probably one of the swiftest point A and point B captures on Volskaya I've seen in this region ever, I think.
Yeah, man, I mean, especially after that game we had in the first set where neither team took the first point. This is very much a turnaround from that. TSL, we highlighted this at the end of map number 2, but decision making has been suspect. I don't think we can underemphasize this, because LRC, you cannot play, like, if you're gonna play the DPS characters, you know, you have to execute on them. He gets 1 kill, but then his team is just dead. It doesn't matter that you're doing damage if your team is not available to take the point. And then you switch to a Sombra, and now you have even less resources. Realistically, Bilibili took point A and point B using exactly 1 ultimate. Yeah, like that's realistically what opened it up. The Graviton Surge from Shy was the difference maker between point A and point B. Like, there's nothing else that really, like, there was a little bit of set pieces here, a little bit of dressing, if you will, but ultimately it comes down to the fact that Shush died very early, doesn't have the Transcendence, and Shy's able to clean up. So Bilibili, they do a good job, but man, TSL just not, I feel like they don't understand why you run certain characters in certain places.
And it seems often that they not only are kind of unsure of what characters to run, but what position to be in as well. And it seems like they're having a hard time counteracting BLG's ability to position TSL where they want them. We saw often TSL's support line just being completely detached from the rest of BLG and unable to provide any kind of healing. And BLG really kind of pushing that envelope time and time again. We've seen it throughout the set. We saw it just again on Volskaya. Now BLG up on the defensive side against TSL. They can go for a full hold here if they want. I'm sure they do. We'll see how it works out. Sitting on that high ground, and already TSL, though they haven't changed their composition, they're playing maybe like just try to play as aggressive as they can, not hesitating here. Possibly looking like a bit of a new team, and nope, just looking like the old TSL getting routed as the second they step on the floor.
You cannot go hammer and tongs at a GOATS team with a Sombra version of 3-3. Right? You just can't. You don't have that damage mitigation. I feel like for some reason TSL thinks that they've got the D.Va backing them up. You don't. You just don't have that character, and BLG is going to win that fight nearly 100% of the time. Even more disastrously, you don't build Raphael that much ult charge, so you now are at a severe disadvantage coming to this next fight. Shy is going to have his Graviton Surge very soon, and Shush not close to that Transcendence. You don't like to see the Zen far away from the Zarya in terms of that ult economy.
And Umber trying to build up some charge there, having the rest of TSL hide behind him as they move to the right side to take all those shots on his bubble, but Umber's still far away from a Graviton there. Mika finds one on Raphael. It's a 5v5 situation. Over goes down. DPS still trying to get towards an Earthshatter that they desperately need to stay alive, but DPS goes down to Mika. Shy is just running through TSL, gets 2 kills, and then helps out on assists for 2 more. Shy is just literally dog walking TSL right now, has a Graviton, has a ton of charge, and waiting for TSL to try again.
So there's a term in sports called telegraphing, right? And that's where you you let the enemy team know what you're going to do because you're unable to hide the play. And Raphael just 100% does that. They see him going for the hack 100% of the time. They pin him and kill him, and that just buys time to, oh my goodness, they just buys time for this Graviton Surge as well.
No, you're 100% right, and you can even see the telegraph before that too. You can, oh, the Sombra's flanking. All right, we're just gonna push up on the rest of your team, like every time. So yeah, you're 100% right. TSL is telegraphing almost every move they can make, while BLG is very nonchalantly responding in accordance with whatever they see TSL throwing at.
I will say I do like that TSL didn't use any ultimates in that Graviton Surge, right? You see that they're going to commit the Graviton, you just lose the fight, it's okay. You walk back into this next fight with 6 ultimates, and now you start scouting out. You start using Raphael's strength. This is a good read, though, from BLG to use the rally to nullify the effects of the EMP early on the Zen.
BLG doesn't see Raphael hiding behind them with the EMP, and then over throws down an Earthshatter that does not connect cleanly, doesn't get any of it. This is an opportunity for TSL to finally take this point. Here's a self-destruct from above, though, and unfortunately for Zijin, it does not find Pater. BLG still struggling to stay alive, holding on, grasping at straws here. TSL, just about a minute left in the clock, and it looks like they should be able to steal point A out under from BLG. Indeed they do. They get those kills they need. DPS swinging wildly to get a ton of damage down. They tenderize and get some kills. TSL finally gets point A.
But they're already a disadvantage in time bank, and on top of that, now they don't have the ability to steamroll through. They don't have the Earthshatter. It's beat versus beat, and now DPS could be the difference maker here, but he still has to build that Earthshatter. He can't go down early.
And Over, meanwhile, goes down to the floor immediately, just jumping right into DPS's face. But DPS now has the Earthshatter. DPS is sent flying back, and then lands the Earthshatter after getting bumped up into the air. Despite the delay, a bunch of BLG members got hit, but Shush is only able to kill Yakumo. Now Umbra just about to get Graviton as the EMP is thrown down by Raphael. BLG was somewhat in cover during that, and Coldest has a Transcendence to respond immediately, but it's not enough to keep BLG alive. TSL looking a lot better than they did previously, and though BLG posted up 6 minutes, TSL won't be that far behind. It looks like they're going to have about 4 minutes on the clock as they capture point B. Exactly 4 minutes on the clock.
We like our round numbers here today on Volskaya. 6 versus 4. 4 minutes is exactly the amount of time you get to start point A, so right now TSL going to run it back. In fact, you can see the timer doesn't move at all there. Yep. TSL, it's a good read. This is now the first exhibition of understanding of 3-3 from TSL. Again, it's kind of the 1-2-3 that they're running, but we'll call it 3-3 for shorthand. They use the Sombra ultimate. Coldest actually dodges it uses the Transcendence, but they don't layer the EMP and the Graviton Surge, so they're able to clean up the fight at the very end. DPS does a fantastic job of staying alive. He gets the Earthshatter down, they get the kill on the Brig, and that means that Bilibili just unable to set up his 6 again to take that fight 6v6. So again, so TSL, I'm actually really impressed with that last fight. It looked really clean. It looked like they understood the rotations they were trying to make. They actually make sure to move as a team and force Bilibili to make choices. That's the point of playing, these tank compositions. You got to get the cooldowns out, and they do that. That TSL makes Bilibili make choices they don't want to, and that allows them to capture, that second point back to back.
Absolutely. You want to put the other team in, out of their comfort zone. But when you put other teams out of their comfort zone, the people grow in general when they step out of their comfort zones. You might be pushing them and then only for them to get even better and hit you harder than they ever hit you before. So now we're going to see, can TSL stack up a little bit as we try to move on to our next map here.
All right. It's going to be well, it's gonna be 3-3 versus the somber version here, and Rapture.
Yeah, we will. Looks like we have a slight technical difficulty here, as it was so cold out in Volskaya that in the stream,
electricity just froze.
Cold here. Yeah, absolutely. Looks like we're gonna go do a quick break here though to try and get that stream back for you before the map ends. Don't go anywhere. More Overwatch Contender Shiner coming your way.
毒奶了吧？特别是像木子那样的，比较爱毒打，知道吗？去线下的时候。
是的。好的，我们来看一下这一边的话，进攻 ，TSL 依然是
黑影，看看他们会不会采取像上一场，就是上一个进攻的时候那样的一个打法。 就是利用到黑影的一个小技能，因为其实 BLG 他们现在的进攻欲望还是比较强烈的，只要逮到你的机会，就一定会扑上来。
BLG 的话还是尽量少跟黑影体系打拉扯，赶紧
但是
上去就得打。
偶尔被一顿毒打，TSL 是改变了这个作战的一个风向。
是的，这个倩一个人单刀过去，只插后排，虽然换掉了辅助，但是自己这里也是阵亡了，没有办法。
是的，感觉跟之前的这个 TSL 好像是有一点变化，就好像是我拉扯一下嘛，多拉扯一下没有什么关系。但是现在偶尔好像适应到对方那个状态的时候，就孤零零的举个盾，然后挨一顿毒打。
好的，那么 A 点拿下
，A 点拿下没有什么太大问题。TSL 也是展现了自己一个多样化进攻的一个水准啊。
是，而且看一下带着 EMP。 然后带着这个裂地猛击去进攻 B 点的，而防守方的话有胜，
有一个确保自己能够进行一波抵抗的技能。空魔手里资源也马上有了。哦，不急吗？现在我们看一下高票的落位。
对，先
他找谁？我们现在看一下，应该是这一波黑的还可以，3个人直接黑到，虽然没有直接的伤害补到。
是的，队友当时的情况没有第一时间跟上，但是后续这边跟上，
他们就吃前排，对，目标很明确，我就吃你前排，没有辅助技能的保护。
好的，
是我一锤，再交出重力喷涌。TSL 现在机会还算比较大，不过 BLG 是已经击杀掉对方2名成员，2个带盾的角色已经倒地。
这边的话，进攻方因为是已经有人被减员了，这一波基本是打不下来了。看一下他们下一波的集结双子带大进场，下一波可能对于 TSL 来说，只能去帮自己的其他位置打大招，然后能骗掉对面1、2个大招就是赚。
对，就看一下他们能用1个大能骗几个大，然后能打出自己几个大来。现在的话，我觉得对方应该是。 BLG 是有所提防了，你再拉扯进去的话，他现在负能量的角度并不多啊，都在2楼，看到了吗？而且2楼的角度都是被封锁掉的。直接拉点，
猴子哥下来再挥2下就有裂地猛击了。
又要被毒打吗？没有。
看一下鹰杖这边，先手
根本不开吗？这一波的这个目的很明确。
是的，我1个技能都不交，我就过来骗你的技能。看一下。 交了鹰杖，然后交了 over 的裂地猛击
，2个大，这样对比下来的话，其实你再看 BLG 手上还有4个大。
但是没关系，因为 TSL 下一波是有黑影的 EMP 的，这个技能其实就是在面对可能我只有1个大，你6个大的时候，我都能打赢你的一个关键性的技能。
是的，就要看这名选手在释放大招的这个时机。你看吧，巴云兰真的很可恶，他就在那儿扫， 正面也不看一下，就在那儿扫。
看一下英雄集结，
先拉到点里来。
哎，这边他勇已经交了下去，
冷宫是不下来的。好，交了。紫金这个时候已经也是有击杀掉刚交出电磁脉冲的黑影。
倒是黑到了挺多人，但是后续没有伤害跟上啊。而且
这一波的话
是被 BLG 打了一波先手吧。
哎，我觉得这一波还行吧。我觉得对我们从目前这个能量上状态来看的话 ，TSL 下一波机会还是蛮多的。
没有双辅的，哎，双辅大招上一波全交了，黑影的大招也交了。就
3个大我骗你，就是你导致现在的局面，就是你 BLG
不合算，这波理财失败。
如果他这波进攻速度快，他就赚了；如果说被对方拉扯了，可能就不好说了。
只有最后一波的时间了，
哎，但是我看到倩倩的这个能量进账非常的快，对，所以这一波的话，我觉得还有的说。有大了，
已经有了从天而降。
先开团，自己没有辅助大的一个情况下，被 BLG 完全包围住，击杀掉，而且
还被吸掉了一个，
应该是没有什么太多的办法。场上只有4个人，带大的 DPS 也已经到地。
好的，那么 B 点是没有拿下。
总的来说，其实他们在沃斯卡亚来打的一个，我觉得还可以赚。
我是觉得他们的这个黑影这种体系是不是磨合还不太够？每当这个黑影有大招的时候，跟队伍的一个配合总有一些
可能有一点小脱节。
对。
但其实你要看到 BLG 的一个站位情况，就是他没有一个人在1楼的。就算我正面下来了，你所有人拉到点里，我下来了，冷冻也不会下来的。
对。是
吧？他一定会藏得好好的。你要不就单黑我一个，你牺牲你一个黑影的大。你要不就黑我5个队友，然后我开个大出来保他们，这个也是一个比较有意思的地方吧，就是一个死循环。
是，我觉得有的时候在打黑影的时候，你就需要一些思路的转变，就是你在面对到对面的这种阵型站位的时候，你可以不要想着我要黑对面6个人，我要黑对面5个人，我哪怕单黑你1、2个，然后我如果能带掉你的缠压塔或者什么的，
没错，
也比刚刚那几波的一个黑影的大招的成效要好很多吧。
他其实之前有尝试过，但是发现一黑对面巴云兰和那个米卡全在旁边，哎，算了，他就不这样尝试，然后想把这个更多的资源是清到前排去，但反过来的话，这样效果还没有之前好。对吧？因为你之前他黑到后排，至少把前排的，不管是 over 还是赛都已经吃掉了。
是的，好的，来看一下这边6分钟巨大时间优势的 BLG 进攻。
是的，我们看一下这一个进攻路线，也是没有太多的变化。拉小房间，你去拉到2楼，因为你走1楼过路费会收的比较多。给你拉一个对角线，紫金这个胆太大了，这是一个被抓的机会，不过。自己的队友没有集体跳上来，因为亚库莫已经倒地了。
想打一波包夹的样子，
跟刚才一样，就是我所有人拉到2楼，然后从那个平台跳过来，
然后我这个 D.Va 在这边撞一下，
但是 TSL 你看他们现在我已经不是那个等你来的人了。
我现在是一个会打防守反击的 TSL 了。好的，能量上面第一波，感觉
双方能量，哇，这个冷冻的能量。我没看错吧？
对，冷冻的能量有点多，倩倩的能量跟这边润成是
比较持平，
对，但是 DPS 的能量会比欧子哥多一点。
所以这要看一下 DPS 在下一波的防守能否起到比较关键性的作用。这一波晒，因为现在扎利亚都是跳这个位置啊，都是跳2楼打你混能量。
高台位置
站的还是比较舒服的。
哎呦，
哇，这一波 DPS 吃我一锤，
交出来了。
没有砸到人，而自己也感受到了刚刚 over 的那个待遇，被一顿毒打。
这个算是刚刚 DPS 的一个失位吧。
现在目前来看的话，BLG血赚就是太赚了，就冷冻一个肾，然后吃掉了对方一个落单的人，然后自己己方的这个资源相对来说很
还捏在手上。我们看一下 over 马上会有自己的雷霆猛接晒，然后紫金亚库莫这边都是把自己的一个大招捏在手上的。
是的，
看一下
TSL 手上的资源还不错
，4分半打1点1格。那么现在对于 TSL 来说也是到了空前绝后的大危机，但是这一波还好是有一个胜握在手上的。
是的，至少第一波拉扯和对抗应该是能够有一个定心丸吧。好，我们看一下这一波 BLG 的一个进攻路线以及他们交招的状况。拉了侧翼吗？ 还在进行一个拉扯，
还是拉到了侧翼，
还是要拉，还是要拉。
要是小心，
双
两边
方都
交了
是弃对方的一个主坦位置。来看这个核爆，冷冻是直接没了。再吃我一锤，效果并不是特别的好，自己的血线已经见底，以及这个时候的核爆是有收
炸掉了
掉，
润城，但是自己这边已经节节败退了。好的，那么这一波的话算是成功的防守了下来，两边其实都交了蛮多的大招技能的。
没错。那这一波团战过后，我们再说到双方的这一个能量优势情况的话 ，TSL 应该是苦尽甘来吧，就好像有运营出自己的那个团控大的一个果实了。
好的，看一下 BLG 下一波。
时间还剩下3分钟，目前来说时间情况还算比较乐观，就要看这个大招该怎么去打了。
那先交一个叠甲，正面再打一波拉扯，想要
我一锤
一点能量，但是有剩。
我的泽大非常的快，这个时候雅库莫配合自己的己方前排，对对方的一个正面造成一个非常大的一个伤害量。
但是闪闪这边刚刚也是开了胜，但是这个时间点你怎么来？刚刚开完胜，这个时候的这个重力喷涌来了。
没错。
不过还好，这里的话是有先收掉了 over。
现在润城能量，他们现在运营的还不错。目前来看的话，就是我莱因哈特的大和那个扎利亚的大是2个批次。如果要交的话，因为双辅的大也是2个批次，所以要交的话应该还算是比较舒服的。而这个
还养了一下小妹妹吗？
这是木子的得意弟子被养了。好了，开句玩笑啊！
正在非常紧张的看比赛，边看比赛还要边发微博，发动功力奶功效。
所以木子线下一般会被就是
收手机，
对，收手机，然后情况不好可能会被打。
好的，来看一下下一波 BLG 的进攻，看看能不能打出这个内地猛击跟核爆的 combo。
现在一波拉扯过后 ，TSL 的其他位置的状况非常还比较舒服啊，能量都还是来的比较快。
可能选择了拉扯这个侧翼要进点 ，over 已经拥有了内地猛击。
但其实 BLG 他们现在不急，就稳稳的来就行，因为他们已经赢下了比赛了，慢慢来。但是赛制的关系是7分制，所以每一个小分都要握紧。
好的，欧巴这边先收掉了布里吉塔这边的重力喷涌交出来，胜也交了出来，两边还在场上进行。
好名单交了出来，而这个时候双方的辅助大也交了出来，都是好像商量好的，你交我也交。
是的，
昂博尔的核爆没有特别好的效果 ，BLG 的场面伤害非常的足。
是的 ，TSL 没有办法抵挡了。
是的，塞里高能扎利亚非常恐怖。
好的，点里面应该全部都可以清完了，只需要占1格。那么 BLG 是成功拿下了第3张地图，奠定了今天的大场的胜利。
没错，但我们现在的这多一点，因为本来就是打的比较多。
你也是打狙出身的选手嘛？
我是打
黑百合挑战赛，这个9朵是第2名，对吧？第1名是离开，对吧？我记得这个故事。好的，来看一下这边 BLG 的进攻 ，TSL 的防守。
是的，那双方的阵容选择的话都是机动坦303，没有选择长枪卫。GSL 是第一次，应该是今天第1场拿这个机动坦303吧？是。好，我们看一下他们在经过3场比赛的这一个洗练之后，能否把自己的这一个状态给找回来。好 ，BLG， 已经爆甲了。是的。
这边爆掉。
哎，其实我们可以多关注一下闪闪这些选手啊，这新选手啊，因为我们知道 OWC 其实在有加入到很多新的队伍的时候，这些辅助选手一直都是，包括我们，包括各大俱乐部关注的一些重点对象。
而且其实之前的话会觉得中国嘛就不缺好的 C 位选手，什么离开啊、9朵啊等等，但是那个时候会觉得中国是不是缺一些好的就是主替位选手，包括辅助位选手。
是。
但是在这一届 OC 里面，我们应该是可以发现很多的新星的。
是的，那这2场比赛的话，也有我们所谓的比较好的一些选手。好的，我们看一下这一波。是先交出了集结号令往前压 ，TSL 现在的攻势有一点势不可挡吧。BLG 是打退了回去，但是 BLG 没有特别多的想法，不甘示弱，直接压了上来。
两边的话，现在温斯顿都是有大招的，看一下这个原始人的补开，还先手重力喷涌了，这边 TSL， 但是鹰杖过来，哎呦，核爆没有，核爆炸下来，倩倩这边是阵亡了。
是的，现在目前来看的话 ，TSL 真是找到状态了呀。
其实他们打这种节奏就比较适合他们的队伍，感觉他们之前就是一直在打这个213，
比如说我保这一个黑影去做一点事情，
或者保这个
长枪去做一点事情。那这样的话，其实因为 DPS 他给我的这一个感觉啊，其实我觉得他是一名综合能力非常强的一名主摊选手。
看一下这边直接把冷宫给跳死了。
刚说完我就把他埋死了，那这个不管。交出了一个重力喷涌，但是对方是有双斧大师交重了吗？
黄符 combo 再现江湖，但是因为是被阿贡了吧，所以说就强交了2个辅助大招过来抢宝。
是的，而正面的这个我们看到李润成的这个扎利亚的强度好像也不低哦。这些 C 位选手的这个扎利亚好像都是在这2个赛季都有一定质的提升吧。
跟枪都是很准的，主要看给盾吧，给盾到底是保队友还是想去蹭能量，还是等等各方面的，这个是扎利亚去组合。看一下，帅，这个跟枪也是相当的恐怖，
应该是比较稳的，没有太大的问题。李润成再交出一个重力喷涌，配合自己的核爆 over 是闷声倒地。
好的，机甲这边也没有
也炸掉了机甲。
哇，现在的话已经在这里守了非常多波，时间只剩下50秒了。
哎，我怎么感觉就是我目前看了很多队伍，就是他之前3张地图的表现，可能我觉得他的风格有一些转换或者乱七八糟的，但是一旦到了最后一张地图，好强啊！这好像就是好，我懂了，我懂该怎么打他了。所以
突然被打通了任督二脉。
对所以这个也是比赛经验的一个好处啊。
好的，来看一下 BLG 这一波的话，手上的大招肯定是很多的。雅库莫先开启了自己的集结号令，带着队友往前冲。
是的，所以开火交到出来，冷冻的这一个佛珠要了Rapture的老命，
而且自己手上还捏了一个肾，哎，感觉这个肾也不用开了。
人员上的话 ，BLG 是占了优势了。我们现在看一下 TSL 好像打的还是很凶，闪电直接冲到对方人群击杀的 over， 还是 over 飘到他的脸上。现在是一个未知数，场面的话还是十分混乱。而冷冻的这一个大招还不交吗？拿捏的非常的死。还有吗
？Overtime 的时间看一下，
没有资源进场，只有一个鹰杖。
啊，这边可以选择放。好的，终于是在 Overtime 的时候 ，BLG
非常的不错了。
就对于防守方 TSL 来说，我觉得这个 A 点是很不错的。
没错，找到了自己的节奏之后，我们看一下到了 B 段。可能地形上有一定的变化，双坦 BLG 的双坦是直接压到了对方的一个机身上，想要把这个优势位置给拿着。
哎，两个人单杀掉了这一边的。
这个有点伤啊，这一个303的对抗是掉一个布里吉塔之后，车应该是会很顺利的推到末端。
末端的话，看一下 TSL 的返场，手上能够利用的大招资源还是不是特别多。
好，我们看一下这一波 TSL 的返场，带着双斧大，有马的核爆。
哎，这个肾是不是交的有一些太早？好像队友当时都还没有到了。
如果这个时候再交出一个鹰杖的话，就可以往前扑了。但是被对方反手打了一个措手不及。
核爆炸掉了。
1换1，场上的话还在进行一个拉手，润成的能量相对来说不是很高，但是自己己方的前排血线还比较乐观，紫金很危险。
前排血线一直是被保着的，上来是先开个肾结束之后马上进行
没错，
整个 BLG 的血线已经得到了很高的保障，那么这个点位也是顺利推到。
DPS 的大招也是觉得不用开了。那 B 段的话有一种，其实我觉得像这种，比如说那个残压塔在运车的过程，就是对方集合的过程，就是有一定的击杀，我觉得这个比较像关键现身。对，就是一波团战。
好的，看一下到了 C 段 ，B 段这边的话基本是被平推掉的，而且刚刚 TSL 也没有赚到很多的，就整个 B 段打了2波嘛，能量都没怎么被 TSL 给赚到。
是的，那这一波的话 ，TSL 还是选择主动开团，他们应该也是尝尽了甜头。不过这一次 BLG 成功的把 DPS 的血线压低，而且自己的扎利亚的这个位置压得非常的深。
能量断图，有了提示，有重力喷涌，直接
就吸你，
就吸你。
很惨，真的还顺走了一个，顺走了一个，
买一赠一。好的，那么一波碾压式的集火，这边前面全部都被清完，看看这个复活的时间点，来不及碰车了，可以碰到。哎，来了一个球，
破坏球，
被干。
但是车边还是 BLG 一鼓作气，没有后面的再而杀。
A 点守的挺不错的 ，A 点守了将近要守到一个 A 菜，但是 B、C 点基本是被全部给平推了。
我觉得节奏
对，还是看得出这支队伍他们在真正打303这个到后期的一个运营体系上，节奏还是没有 BLG 把握的更好。
对，可能他们的上升空间是存在的，但是临场的这个节奏变化的一个，就是我们到 B 点的时候，你看 BLG，在取得这个资源上的优势，包括到 C 点资源上的优势，自己该去如何的处理这一些比较
细节的东西，需要有一个好的教练好好的回去复盘，给他们抠一下细节。我可以推荐朵子哥去给他们做一个教练。朵子哥微微一笑不说话。好的，来看一下这边攻防互换，那么是剩下1分26秒的时间。这张地图的话，其实这个时间我觉得还是主要是 BC 段推的太过顺利了。
对，主要是中间有人员上的这个断节，导致于其实前面拿的这些节奏，掌握的这些节奏，到了后边可能一时间就新队伍可能会出现了一些问题，
是会
有一点节奏会有一点混乱。
好的，来看一下两边好像依然是要拿机动坦的303镜像阵容，感觉其实就是 TSL 这边他们打的主动一点，打303阵容体系嘛，你打的主动一点，抢节奏这个是非常关键的。
我以为你要说抢节奏，结果是抢节奏。
对。专业用语，小鬼老师发明的抢节奏。
好的，那我们来到了 TSL 的进攻。那他们的一波防守的话，其实2个点表现的不是特别好，不过值得肯定的是，他们现在有一点自己的思路，这个也是一个好事情。现在双方的阵容都是一个机动坦303进行一个对抗。
是，来上来赚了一点能量，跳回去。高台位置，BLG这里站的还是比较牢的。
哇，这个能量来的太快了！我觉得双方残牙塔这一个。其实今天的表现都还是蛮好的。
是的，就是不管就是场面怎么样，我觉得两边，尤其是像这个 TSL 这边的一个强压塔，他自己的一个输出打的其实是很足的。
对他打来的真的快。好的，双方在这个蓝色的沙包在抢位置，这个位置还是比较关键的。车的话在桥洞是没有什么进展，不过看双方的能量都是强压塔要出大了，而冷冻还是一马当先。开出了胜，哎呦，就是你看慢了这么半拍，
是也开不出来，但是还是没有保到自家的布里奇塔。
是的，而这个时候 TSL 这一波进攻应该是被 BLG 一波胜给瓦解掉。
有胜的情况下，开胜直接前压，然后帮的其他位置上前打输出，然后赚能量。我们看一下 BLG 下一波手上又是亮了，已经将近5个大招了。
是的，你看这个就是比较细节的一些地方。我大招比你快2秒，快2秒，我马上就把节奏抢到，击毁你一个人。对，所以细节方面的话 ，BLG 应该是做的还是比较不错的。而这一波的话，自己手上捏的这一个资源也很多。先交一个叠甲，保证自己的血线。
还在找位置，要落位。
拉扯过来进行一个集火，但是感觉目标不是特别的明显，还是被晒先手开了出来。你看晒西人，我就担心你。
果断，
我吸一个无所谓，反正我知道我打残局一定是绝对的优势。
对，因为现在有很多包括 OWC 的队伍，他们的扎利亚都会选择我就单交一个我吸，因为这个版本的话，其实水冲滚起来是非常的可怕的。
没错，
我单吸你一个全部的火力过来击杀掉你一个，我就会导致你这个大招的能量运营会吃很多。
这个其实就是里边的一个学问，
而且心理学就是我方的人看到被吸了一个，我要不要交技能就
很烦。
是，
这个里边我觉得心理学就有一点多了。
好，来看一下 TSL 这一波
带着5个大招，而 BLG 的话是双辅带大。那这一波我们看看双方应该以怎么样的一个结果来收场。DPS 是率先跳到了对方的正面， 但是这个高台好像抢的还是有一点困难。这个时候直接洗甩效果还不错，配合一个核爆，有击杀吗？双辅的大这个时候都叫出来 BLG 有一点重叠，不过没有关系，晒的能量来的非常的快。
来这边是被晕了一下，血线刚刚稍微有点低啊，然后全部都挤在了这个门口这边。
我们看到闪闪在默默的
推车，是的，
车好像是有一点远，团战打的比较顺利，但是
这一波就还
要打
有机会打过，而且刚刚 TSL 已经教了很多的技能了，现在只
教了4个
大招。
那这一波 Over 是率先跳到场内进行一个阵型上的破坏。
好，闪闪是开出来保一下队友。
开出来之后有没有激活目标？我们看一下紫金的这个角度的话，应该是 BLG 的正面对抗要长那么一丝，而时间已经不多了，只有10秒钟。这个时候 TSL 能不能交出所有的大单？
坐下来还坐死，召唤机甲还坐死了一个人。好的，那么看一下有没有时间过来摸车。
是的
啊，没有人能摸到车，太可惜了。那么 BLG 最终是获得了今天比赛的胜利，是以4比0。
是的，那今天2支